Hello folks, welcome back to Caricarz.com, and I'm sure many of you have already watched our previous video where my colleague waxed lyrical for nearly half an hour about the new 8th generation or G60-gen BMW 5 Series in all-electric i5 form. Yes, I get it, the new 5 Series is a fantastic EV, but what if you don't want an EV? What if you still want the quintessential executive sports saloon with a combustion engine? Well, the good news is there are two variants of which for you to choose from, and I've got one here on review today, and I'm going to give you several reasons why this is the one to go for. My name is Tariq Azmi and this is Caricarz.com. Okay, let's talk about something very easy to talk about, and I'm talking about the visual looks. Remember, the i5 and the combustion 5 Series are actually the same car underneath. They ride on the same platform, and that perhaps explains why they look the same. And I guess that is not bad news if you ask me. Okay, what I have here specifically is the range-topping combustion model, which is the 530i M Sport, and it is very easy to set this apart from the lower-end 520i because it has, first and foremost, the M Sport aero kit that features the sportier, angrier-looking front bumper, complete with these nice-looking black inserts, and down the side, you see it has the M Sport aero kit side skirt plus the all-important 20-inch M alloy wheels. Of course, we can't talk about BMWs and design without addressing the one design touch that makes all BMWs, well, BMWs. And I'm talking about the front grille. And in the case of this new G60 Gen 5 Series, and let me stress, this is a matter of personal opinion, I find the new grille to be a wee bit too big for my liking, but that's alright, I suppose. Instead, I want to highlight one thing, literally, and this might not sit well with some or most of you depending on how you look at it, and I'm talking about the fact that this grille lights up at night thanks to the BMW Iconic Glow LED outline. Well, I don't know folks, you tell me whether you like it or not, so hit the comments below. Okay, looks aside, what's pretty cool about the front grille in the Combustion 5 Series is the fact that it shares the same active shutter grille function as you would find in the all-electric i5. At the rear, the M Sport touches continue in the 530i with the rear bumper because the M Sport adds the angrier-looking, sportier-looking rear bumper complete with the gloss black inserts and the very sporty faux diffuser element. So overall, it looks very nice, very sporty, and it matches the sleek new tail lamps. I really like this part of the new 5 Series, but this being a 5 Series, it wouldn't be complete without the signature Hofmeister King, the C-pillar design that's very, very unique only to the 5 Series. Okay, moving into the cabin of the G60 530i M Sport, and unsurprisingly, it's basically the same stuff we've seen in the i5 previously, but again, like the exterior I talked about earlier, this is perhaps not bad news. Now, I want to highlight a couple of things, starting with the displays, and you will find three of which starting with a 12.3-inch digital instrument panel. Next to it, you will find a larger 14.9-inch touchscreen infotainment, and above all of which literally comes a full color heads-up display. So overall, in terms of eye candy, this cabin in the 530i M Sport delivers it quite well. I do want to point out one thing though, the infotainment half of this display setup, while it is loaded with loads of connectivity-driven functions, I would argue that the latest BMW OS 9 interface is not the easiest or perhaps the friendliest for anyone to master. In fact, I find it a bit of a headache to get around. But this is not a deal breaker considering the fact that this infotainment gives you one option to bypass all of it altogether, by which I mean its provision of wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Okay, putting all that aside, I want to give you several other highlights of the cabin from the driver's perspective. And again, let me highlight that these are personal findings. You may like it, you may not. Very, very sporty BMW M Sport steering wheel design with the flat bottom. I love it. It's very, very nice to grip and drive with. Apart from which, my other personal highlights here include this lovely Bowers & Wilkins audio system because blasting tunes on this thing feels really fantastic. And last but not least, the cabin ambient lighting panel in the dashboard and the door insert. In my personal opinion, BMW has nailed the cabin ambient lighting game. This is one of the best executed cabin ambient lighting systems I've ever seen. Okay, not only is this a fantastic car to drive, it's also a very safe and very useful car when you want it to be, because this car comes fully loaded with level 2 semi-autonomous driving abilities thanks to the BMW Driving Assistant Pro. So that laces this car with a lot of advanced driving assistance or ADAS features. On top of which, said package comes included with BMW Parking Assistant Pro and BMW Reverse Assistant Pro. So there's semi-autonomous parking abilities in this car as well. So in other words, long story short, not only is the 530i M Sport a car that feels like it could almost literally drive itself, which it can, it's also a car that could literally get itself in and out of parking spots when you want it to. Okay, we're still talking about the cabin in the BMW G60 M Sport, and I want to highlight one more thing, and that is the fact that the cabin has actually grown in size from the previous generation 5 series. And what that means, rear seat passengers benefit with more legroom, movement room and headroom with increased comfort. And speaking of comfort, that is boosted by the fact that there are dedicated aircon flaps not just in the central tunnel but in the B pillars as well, with dedicated controls. So it's very comfortable here indeed. And there's even dedicated rear window blinds to improve the comfort factor here. And as if that's not enough, for backseat passengers, I count no less than 1, 2, 3, 4 USB-C charge ports. So that is indeed very practical. But when you talk about practicality, nothing beats the next fact. So unlike the all-electric i5, the combustion-powered 5 Series actually offers you more boot space. There's actually 520 litres of which as standard provided here right now, which you can expand further thanks to split folding rear seats. Now I don't know about you, but as far as sedans go, these are very convincing numbers and should make you think twice about getting an SUV instead. Okay, moving on to arguably the most exciting and most important part of this review with the BMW 530i M Sport, by which I mean driving impressions. And long story short, this is a car built for driving enthusiasts. And I'll give you several reasons why, starting with the powertrain. Under the hood, it packs a 2-litre turbo 4-cylinder mild hybrid that puts up 255 horsepower and 400 Newton meters of torque, all of which power the rear wheels exclusively through an 8-speed ZF Steptronic automatic transmission. While it is not a DCT or dual clutch box, it feels as slick as one, and the performance it delivers is rather respectable, because 0 to 100 kilometers an hour dashes take just 6.2 seconds while VMAX stands at 250 kilometers an hour. I will add that the mild electrification through the MHEV system, which is a 48-volt system, also brings quite a lot of refinement into this car's daily driving abilities, especially during idling stop-start cycles. And also, it refines the car at high speed because it allows for coasting. Oh, before I forget, I also want to add that besides adding some refinement and comforts to this car's drive dynamics, the mild hybrid system I mentioned earlier also contributes to a very much more efficient car than what its predecessor was. So in other words, this is quite the all-rounder if you ask me when it comes to the 5 Series, and I think BMW have done quite a good job in packaging this new 8th Gen 5 Series, especially in 530i M Sport form. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that this is not just a quick car, this is a car that can really handle as well, and a lot of which comes from the fact that it has a very well sorted chassis primed with adaptive suspension pro, as well as integral variable steering, plus most importantly, rear wheel steering. Yes, this mid-size saloon has rear wheel steering, and let me tell you folks, this system allows this 5 Series to corner as if it's on rails. It's one of the most agile sports saloons I've ever driven, and it feels as if it's built for those who like to do the Genting hill climb, or if you happen to live up in Bukit Terbangsa and you like to do it, you like to treat that climb as a hill climb too, this is the car you want for that daily drive, trust me. And there you have it folks, the G60 generation BMW 530i M Sport in a nutshell, and what a car it is. Honestly, it really puts the sport in executive sports saloon, and it is a car that really should beg you to question, do you really need a similarly priced SUV given the amount of practicality it gives you without losing on the fun factor and luxury factor as well. Now, speaking of price, there's some good news here too, because the 530i M Sport and its equivalent i5 eDrive 4G M Sport are actually very similarly priced. They start at just about 400,000 ringgit and goes up to about 430,000 ringgit with the BMW service and repair inclusive package included. Now, I don't know about you, those are indeed premium pricings, but it's now making me question, is my kidney worth selling in the black market for one of these? Because I really love this car. But that's just my thoughts, folks. What do you think of the BMW 530i M Sport? Hit the comments below with your thoughts.